All right, he's not biased. All right. So let's go. Why do you think? Say your characters again, and why you think they win.
Okay, so it's Shakti, Luminara, Darth Treya, Satil Shan, and Mother Towson.
Okay. And I have Return of the Jedi Vader, no confliction. So why do you think your characters win?
Okay, first of all, if you compare, let's see, Anakin versus Vader, first of all, Anakin is more powerful
No,
than
he's
Vader.
not. No, he's not.
Well, I mean, yes, he is.
Can you
They're
prove
two
that?
different. I can,
Uh,
actually.
let's see it.
Okay, second. Um, mm, where is it? Gosh, it's somewhere, but it just disappeared.
Kevin, I thought you had all your things organized.
I do. Okay, so basically, like Legends of Vader is that he scales below TPM Kenobi and Gen via a bunch of Lucas quotes, and is certainly far below Rot's Anakin
Okay. Do you
via
know what Death of the Author is?
no.
Okay. So essentially, imagine. Okay. So the creator's opinion is not above the creation. So if the universe itself asserts something, the creator cannot. He has no power over that. His interpretation dies as soon as the creation exists, because now it's open to anyone to interpret.
Okay,
So I don't care if Lucas says shit that contradicts the actual source material.
but he's the one that made up the character, so he would know the most about it.
No, he didn't write the EU.
What?
He did not write the EU,
EU meaning as
the expanded universe. He didn't write the novels or the comics. So he actually doesn't. He didn't really create the. He created the character and like three events in his life, but there's way more to flesh out. He also didn't write the guidebooks. He didn't write the comics, like I said. Didn't write the video games.
okay, he might not have read in the video games, but doesn't mean he didn't have any part into it.
Can you prove that he had a big part in it? That's what you need to do if you're asserting that he has some sort of creative authority over it,
Well,
or that he just didn't, or that he would know. That's your claim, is that he knows the character more than anybody.
I mean, it's just like saying that the Russo brothers don't know anything about the characters when they are the ones that created them.
They created Captain America. What are you talking about? They didn't even
Like,
direct the first Captain America movie, so they didn't
well,
create
they don't.
Captain America.
They don't need just because someone directs them. They were the creators of the whole franchise. They
No,
made
they
it.
no. The Russo brothers were brought in during Phase 2. They did not. They weren't even there in Phase 1. They didn't create the franchise.
So you're saying they didn't create any of the Marvel characters?
I'm saying they didn't create. Actually, yes, they did not create any Marvel characters. They adapted Marvel characters that already existed. They didn't
Okay,
create any of them.
if you say so. Anyway, I'm gonna send.
Well, do you have anything to disprove what I just said? Because you can't just go, oh, if I say so. Because yeah, that is what I'm asserting. But if you can't disprove it, then that's just the fact. You have to be able to disprove something in a debate.
Give me a second.
What are you getting? You're gonna get something to disprove what I just said, or you're gonna get something else, and then the point goes to me.
I'm getting it.
Getting what?
The the thing. Well, actually, no, that doesn't even matter because it's not even part of the argument. Never mind. Anyways, I'm gonna send. So, for example, I'm gonna send this to
should I just send all my stuff to Star Wars Canons or Legends chat?
Star Wars Legends, since it's a Legends debate.
Okay.
Are you dropping the point about Vader being weaker
Then
than Anakin?
No.
Okay, why? What other evidence? Because I debunked your evidence just until now. So what else do you have?
Let's see, what else do I have? See.
I can show
Legends
you.
Vader has...
Yes, I can show you statements of Legends Vader being stronger. Do you want that?
Not really. I mean, again,
I'll post that for the judges then. So that's from that's from Jedi Battles. It says in regards to the Revenge of the Sith fight. It says, and this is in the Legends chat. It says this duel was very different from their last. Obi-Wan was older and weaker, while Vader was even stronger, fueled by hatred and thirst for revenge. So even stronger than Anakin. Here's from the a Return of the Jedi action figure for talking about Darth Vader. It says more powerful in the Force than ever before. Here's another statement.
But how does the first one prove anything when it says Obi-Wan was older and weaker? That really contradicts what you're trying to say.
No,
it doesn't say.
How does it contradict what I'm saying?
Because you're saying that it's supposed to prove something.
Yeah, it proves Vader got stronger. Did you read after the Obi-Wan statement? Or did your brain just stop processing text after that?
Any sense. Older and weaker does not. It's not like he's going against a stronger, and therefore it makes more sense. He's going against an older and weaker version, not a stronger.
Can you wait? Hold on. Can you read the whole thing for me? Because I don't think you're understanding
it. I don't need to read the whole thing.
Read the relevant part. Read what you're referring to.
I literally have said it 5 times.
Read it out loud. No, you haven't said the whole thing. Read it out loud.
Was older and weaker, while Vader was stronger and fueled by hatred.
Right. So Vader's stronger than when he was in regards to their last duel.
And meanwhile, he was older and weaker.
Obi-Wan was older and weaker. Vader was stronger. I'm proving Vader is stronger. I don't give a fuck about Obi-Wan. The statement says it's in regards to the last duel, Vader's stronger.
And again, it says he was older and weaker.
Who?
Oh my god.
So it doesn't matter, right? Because I'm talking about Vader.
It does, though. Because he's saying older and weaker.
He's saying Obi-Wan's older and weaker, not Vader, right? I'm talking about Vader being stronger. So what does Obi-Wan have to do with anything?
He was older and weaker than the last time he was older and weaker, so it doesn't really have any...
Obi-Wan was older and weaker, while Vader was even stronger.
Yeah.
So it proves Vader stronger.
Okay. But that fight has to do nothing. He's weaker.
What? That fight had nothing. He's weaker. What does that mean?
It means that if he's weaker than last time, then obviously it's going to be easier for him. Even if he did get stronger, it doesn't matter.
But you agree Vader got stronger than when he was Anakin.
Yes, but his fight
that's the whole point. That's the whole reason why I brought up the scan is because you claimed that he got weaker. I claimed he got stronger. And I just provided evidence that Vader's stronger than Anakin. And you just said you agree to that, so you lost the point unless you can find some other evidence to contradict what I just said.
I'm pretty sure he was saying the whole time that Obi-Wan was weaker because he was older, and versus the Revenge of the Sith. That's what he was saying, but I think you were not understanding. You thought he was saying Vader was weaker, but he was actually saying that Obi-Wan was weaker. So really, the fights don't really have anything in common.
I don't give a fuck about Obi-Wan being weaker or anything.
Using it as your context.
Because it says Vader. It says this duel was very different from their last, referring to the Mustafar fight.
Okay. So
Obi-Wan was weaker, so Obi-Wan was weaker, but Vader was stronger. Vader's stronger. Vader's stronger than Anakin.
He was older, therefore weaker.
Obi-Wan was, not Vader. It says Vader's stronger.
Exactly.
So Vader's stronger than Anakin. You already agreed to that earlier.
I said that it doesn't really have any meaning if...
It doesn't have any meaning that it says Vader was even stronger than when he was on Mustafar? So Vader above Anakin? That's the whole point of the argument. That's the whole point of the statement.
Again, this fight does not really prove anything.
The fight doesn't have to prove anything. The statement says Vader's stronger, which is what I'm trying to prove. So do you have anything to debunk the statement?
Yes, which I've already said. If it says that he was stronger than anything and he was older, weaker, then again, They're using the fight as the picture to caption what they're using it. Therefore, the fight does have meaning. Or else, why would it be there?
Okay, what'd you just say?
I said the fight has everything to do with it. Or else, why would the picture be there? It is used as to show what they are using as that's for the statement.
Right, and they're saying that Vader in that picture is stronger than Anakin, which is the whole point of this tangent.
Yes, the duel was very different because now he's going against a much older and weaker, and Vader got stronger.
Yes,
That's
Vader's stronger than Anakin, so we agree.
and he got weaker. Therefore, that obviously he's going to be more powerful than the Obi-Wan if he got older and weaker.
It says Obi-Wan got weaker, whereas Vader got stronger. So Vader got stronger between Mustafar and A New Hope, irrespective of Obi-Wan getting weaker.
Okay.
So Vader above Anakin.
And you could also reconcile that what has Vader done that Anakin did. He was able to take down the son and daughter, but Vader wouldn't be able to do that.
Anakin was amped on Mortis. Did you watch the episode?
Yes, I watched the episode again.
Okay, so he was amped. Do you know what an amp is?
Yes, it means that you were given more power.
Yes, that you would not have access to otherwise, because Mortis is a Force Nexus. It's a vergence in the Force, so any Force user on it is going to be stronger.
Okay, but
than if they were on it otherwise.
The father even stated that only the chosen one will be able to do that.
Yes, because he has the highest potential.
Exactly, and he didn't even reach his highest potential.
It doesn't. Neither did Anakin. Anakin left the planet and got weaker. In fact, on Mortis, he actually has anti-feats, where when he channels his power and focuses on the vergence on the Force Nexus, he's able to toss around the sun. But later in the arc, the sun just no diffs his saber strikes because he isn't tuned in. He isn't tuned into the Nexuses potently. So you guys didn't watch the episode, or you guys just didn't notice, or you're just not very bright, because that's what happened.
How you go ahead? I'm eating.
Again, I did watch the video, and
watch the video. I said episode.
Yeah, a video. That's what it is. It's a video.
Did you watch a clip, or did you like a Stupendous Way video, or did you watch the actual episode?
Yes, I've watched the episode more than once.
Okay, well then you just didn't understand it. That's fine.
Oh, I did understand it.
You evidently didn't.
Oh, you're just taking it out of context. That's
what
why.
Context am I taking it out of? I gave more context than you provided, actually. I actually added another instance of Anakin doing something on Mortis to disprove your claim.
Yeah, but there is no proof that Darth Vader could do that, and Anakin did that.
Okay. Anakin was amped. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It does not matter.
It doesn't. It does matter, though.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're saying that Vader could do the exact same thing.
No, because Vader has never gone to Mortis.
Statement, because you just said that Vader is stronger than Anakin, but you just said that he can't do that, but Anakin could. So how does that make sense?
Because Anakin was stronger than Anakin typically is on Mortis. Nobody scales to Mortis Anakin anyway. Mortis Anakin's like top of the verse. He'd beat Sidious. He'd beat all those other people. He's not. So Mortis Anakin is just effectively a separate character. It's not relevant.
It's still Anakin, right?
He's amped. He's effectively not Anakin. Vader's also still Anakin. Like, so what the fuck's even your point? If you're just going to conflate Mortis Anakin to say he's the same character. Vader's the same character as Anakin. So what are you even arguing?
Anakin and Darth Vader are two different people.
They're not. What? Excuse me? Oh, we got another one, guys. Oh my god. Why are they two different people?
The Sith spirit. The Sith spirit.
Oh my god. Why are they two different people?
Again, like I just said, if they're the same people, okay. Yes,
they are the same person. They're literally the same person.
Okay. So then why would you compare them if they're not?
What?
Oh my.
What'd you just say?
Again, I'll repeat the question or the statement.
Okay, do it more articulate this time.
I'm sorry if I'm not being too elaborate for you, but
Okay, makes
again,
sense. That'll get on the right track if you make some sense.
well, if it is only your way, then it won't
Let's
make
hear
sense.
it. Say what you're gonna say.
Well, if you keep cutting me off, I can't
Very
finish.
hard for you to understand if you're only looking at your ways. Most people that only are one-sided can't really grasp or actually be able to understand.
I'm gonna step in. Can you just explain it? Like the whole like dick measuring thing that you just went into, that whole line, unnecessary. Just go through your scaling.
And here I thought the judges and stuff weren't going to talk.
Don't. I'm not the one, bro.
Okay, but
Listen, he's just trying to get the debate back on track. You guys, all
so
three of you are kind of derailing here. So please just explain
when
your
he
point
goes
so we can
track-
continue. Let me finish talking, please.
so when he goes off track, it's okay. But when we do,
I didn't say that. I said all three of you.
Mm.
My God. Please get back to the point and answer the question that he asked. Or clarify, because he's confused at what you're saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, there are two different characters, as in combative and forcive gifts. They're not the same person because they have two different power feats, which makes them relatively.
Okay, just like Mortis Anakin. Mortis Anakin is different than Revenge of the Sith Anakin in that way. And any Anakin that would scale to anybody else or anyone else would scale to.
However, that Anakin was still on the light side versus the dark side when you're two different sides, Sith and a Jedi. When you go from one side
but Mortis Anakin has a feat that has not been replicated by Anakin on any other place than Mortis because that place amps Force users exponentially. So they're practically two different characters. That's what I just said. In fact, you guys are just making my argument even better for me.
If you say so. Anyways,
I do say so. Do you have something to counter that? Because it's not just me saying so. If you have nothing to counter it, then again, the point just goes through. That's just the truth as far as this debate's concerned. So you can't just go, oh, I say so. Like, you have to have something.
And relatively speaking, I was using that, I guess you could call it a statement, as in conjecture towards the overall duel. One person is, you could relatively say, okay, there may be close or far in skill. But then I'm going back to the five we have. We have maybe Satele, Mother Talzin, and Darth Trey would be enough to beat that Vader. It just would be.
Okay, well, are you dropping the Anakin point?
I was using that, like I just said, I was using that conjecture to lead up to my whole point that I'm about to get to.
Okay, but I debunked Vader being below Anakin, so do you have anything else, or do you have another argument?
No, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay, so you're dropping the Anakin point, right? If you're not going to continue to argue that, then you drop the point.
What?
That Vader is weaker than Anakin. Because he's not, because I provided evidence and countered your claims.
He said that he wasn't dropping it. He literally said that he was using that point.
Okay, well then go, but I countered everything you guys just said.
Again, like I said, I was not done because I just said that I'm using that. That was my opening statement.
Okay, so you, if I countered everything up until now, but your point is contingent on Anakin versus Vader, do you have anything else to say regarding Anakin versus Vader?
And I will get to that.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so when we get to all the other characters, so let's take it into account that we have all five of my characters on one side and your one measly character on the other side. And now I'm taking this from word to word what you said. You said he stomps in 1 second, each character. That's what you said. And if I'm wrong, I'll send you the screenshots of you saying it.
That's fine.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. So, you're saying that basically that Darth Trey can do Giga Drain, which can drain his power. Satele can amp up everyone's powers with her, and she can do it all. Darth Trey can Giga Drain, so that's one thing. Mother Talzin can electrocute at the same time. Satio can do a big force push, which that literally destroyed Darth Malgus. And then you have Shakti and Luminara who can sit there fighting him with after they do that. I mean, what he's still going to be up and jumping all around? I mean, I highly doubt. I mean, it would make no sense. I mean, you have.
Okay, hold on. Can I attack that claim before you go on to something else?
Sure.
Okay, how
Wait,
fast?
wait, hold on. Before you guys proceed, Red, I thought you were using this point to support your claim that Anakin and Vader were not the same person. Are we moving on from that point?
He said before he went on that he was going to counter that. So he didn't even get. He literally said that when he gets finished, you'll realize what he was talking about. But he did just say that he wanted to counter that. So he's not.
Okay, this is. I'm asking Red a question. Red, are you going to continue to elaborate on why Vader and Anakin aren't the same person? Because what you just brought up seems irrelevant.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna. I have to get to the point. I have to build up to it. So I haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay. All right. Well, Crisis, let him finish the entire point because this is going to start a rabbit hole down something completely unrelated. So finish your point and please conclude with your evidence that Vader and Anakin are not the same person.
Okay. So where I left off. Okay. So then you could also say that Legend Vader has pretty mediocre combat feats, and he can't scale Canon Vader above Legends characters. So I don't know how that would work. But in a conventional scenario, I would say Unduly plus T plus Trey attacking Vader and Sabers, while the two others battle him with the Force would be way too much for Vader to handle. Unlike Anakin, it would be a whole different scenario. Even more, Trey has Precata too, so Vader could feasibly be battling against 5 lightsabers at once. The Force powers Talzin and Satele, so there's no way he survives that. And like I just said it, if you didn't understand the part, I just conceded to my earlier claim about Anakin and Vader. So if you don't understand that, I can repeat that part again. And then, it's obviously not true, it will likely involve some super shaky faulty scaling. Trey has Gigavane, so she can just drain Vader while Vader's focused on the other 4. Let's see what else. Vader is weaker in Legends than in Canon, and all the events in the scalings are different, so that's a factor. And also, Legends characters like Satele and Trey and Canon character Satele also has upper battle meditation, so like I stated earlier, she can super amp the other 4 members while teaming weakening Vader, and which she does when fighting Revan in SWTOR, and when you fight the Emperor in Echoes of Oblivion. And I can also send stats from Trey and Vader. And you can look at them. Trey's Force stats succeed that of Vader.
Okay, let me interject again. You said I asked you to conclude with why Vader and Anakin are not the same person, and all of this seems very unrelated to that point.
I answered that. Did you not listen?
Repeat it one more time, please.
Okay. Again, I said they are not the same people relatively in powers, force, and like I said before, earlier, I just said that when comparing them, let's say for example, where is it? I just had it and I lost it. Okay, yeah. And so with that statement, I could, like I said, Legends Vader has pretty mediocre combat feats, and he can't scale Canon Vader above Legends. So
what does that have to do with Anakin and Vader?
What do you mean?
I just want to make sure that everyone is on the same page here. You, Blue, and Crisis are all understanding what's going on. You're saying that Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader are not the same person because they have vastly different powers and skill.
And they also have different emotions and personalities.
Okay, so that's okay. Stop right there. Now, Crisis needs to respond to that point because we can't get into the power scaling of the other characters or other win conditions until we address this first, because we're still on Crisis's first point that Darth Vader is stronger than Anakin, which I'm not sure you've debunked just now, but that's neither here nor there. So we'll let Crisis respond to that point before we start getting into the abilities of the other characters. Crisis, go ahead.
Okay. So you think they're different people because they have different scaling, right?
And personality also.
Sure. Okay. So, but you brought up Mortis Anakin earlier, yes? To say that that's why Anakin is stronger?
Yes.
Okay. Now, why? But you acknowledge that Vader and Anakin are literally the same people, right? They're like genetically they're the same. Like he lived
they're
all
genetically
that.
The same.
And
yes,
Vader lived through all the things Anakin did, right?
Yes.
Obviously. Okay. So your argument is, even if they're the same person, literally, if they have a different they have a different personality, or show different personality traits than they tend to show, and they also have different levels of power than they tend to show, then you're saying they are practically different people.
That's just like saying my brother and I are the same people. We're twins, but we're not the same people. Just because we share 99% the same DNA, and we've gone through the same exact experience does not mean we're the same people.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense.
Hold on. That's a little, I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say.
That's not a little different.
No, that's not what I said. I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say. So what I'm trying to say is, you're saying, to clarify your position, you're saying that Anakin and Vader are different because they show different levels of power, and they show...
They're just different in general. They're different in power. I mean, Anakin at different stages is at different stages of power throughout his life. He is not the same exact flat line at power. He changes in power, one. So, yes, you could argue that.
Okay, hold on. My point is, Mortis Anakin falls under the same parameters as Darth Vader in your guys' definition, in your practical perspective of what are different people, because on Mortis, he performs a different level of feats than he does anywhere else, and he also has a different personality, which is showcased by the fact that when he's centered, when he's in his zone, he bullies the son and daughter because he's at the most. He has his master on one side and his apprentice on the other side, and they're both about to get killed, and he says no. Whereas next time, when those circumstances aren't present, he performs differently against the son. He gets just manhandled by the son. So, by that, see, because you guys are trying to say Vader above Anakin because Anakin was on Mortis, and you're trying to say Vader is different than Anakin because different levels of power, different personality. But Mortis Anakin falls under the same guidelines that you guys have set up as being a different character than normal Revenge of the Sith Anakin.
Power-wise, yes, but that's only like one of the three things. I mean, he's still Anakin. He's not like the Anakin that would have killed all the Jedi. That's someone totally different.
But he's also is acting under a different personality. He is doing things that he doesn't normally do because he's put in a different situation than he would normally be put in. So he has a different mindset. That's why he's able to beat the son and daughter when he can, as opposed to later when he cannot.
Yes, because at that point to him, he's trying to defend the people he's close with.
I agree. So he's a different. He completely. There's no scaling chain to be made for Anakin on Mortis. You cannot link him to Revenge of the Sith Anakin. You can't do it because he's amped. He's stronger. He's going about fighting people differently than he does anywhere else. So it doesn't work. So your point about Mortis Anakin being stronger. And that's why Vader can't be stronger than Anakin at any other point in his life. That doesn't make that. Your argument is not. It has no utility in the end game of this debate from your perspective?
Well, before I finish, Corey, do you have anything else to add before I move on?
Actually, I was gonna say that I mean, it kind of has some volume to speak because I mean he never reached his true potential, like Darth Sidious has stated, and that was supposed to be near his true potential because, like you said, he is amped. So,
Right, but that's more to my point though, that Mortis Anakin falls outside of any scaling chain that would be present within standard Anakin, because if he never reached that true potential and he got close, like you said on Mortis, and Sidious thinks he never reached it, then he also never reached it off Mortis, meaning that that's just they're just actively two different characters by your definition. They're practically two different characters.
okay, so again, that
Also, Mortis Anakin isn't relevant to my scaling chain, which I think proves superiority to all 5 of your characters anyway.
yes, but again, that does prove that if he never reached that, and if you don't scale Mortis Anakin, but if I were, then I would probably put him obviously at S tier, and then if we're ranking your Vader, then we probably put him on.
Mortis Anakin is also stronger than all of your characters, though, so why is it relevant?
It's supposed to prove that he is far weaker, and that therefore that he doesn't have nearly as a chance as you think.
No, because do you think, okay, Mortis Anakin can be like A tier, Vader can be B tier, and all your characters can be D tier. That doesn't contradict anything, which is what I believe my scaling chain proves. All you're saying is that, oh, well, this character's super duper strong, but this other character isn't as super duper strong, so they probably lose. But you haven't proven anything to put your characters above Darth Vader in power. In fact, let me just ask, how fast, because you laid out some win cons earlier, how fast are your characters? Because you're saying they're going to be draining and doing lightning and dueling. How fast are they?
Let's see.
Oh. Go ahead.
Let's see. For Darth Tria, 6 squares. I'm not sure if that even means anything. Speed, where's this? Wait, hold on. Wait, is that the same? So, from this novel or book, I guess you could say, Darth Vader's speed is only 6 squares, which I don't even know how fast that is.
6 squares. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. What is that supposed to mean?
I'm sending it to the thing because if that is his speed, then I mean he's not faster than Darth Treya because they're both at the same speed. Here, let me send it. Send it. Oh wait, no, I think I have these photos right. Well, let me send it to. There.
Okay, these are D&D stats, right?
D and
Do you know what D&D is?
No.
Okay, D&D is Dungeons and Dragons. So you buy these guidebooks, and then this is what they're supplying is a framework for how many points you have in a given character, thus that they could, like, you'd roll a d6 and be like, oh well, my character has this number in speed, and then they'd be like, oh well, the enemy you're fighting has a lower or higher number, so this is just a game mechanic. So it doesn't actually reflect on any lore. It's for the player to play a game. It's not actually lore. It's not. There's no universe implications on this, like in universe as far as Star Wars is concerned.
So you're saying that this is canon?
This is not canon. This is not canon to anything. This is just a gameplay mechanic. This is like saying, like, oh, well, Starkiller has like a long health bar, so he's got a lot of health. Like, what that doesn't, it's just on screen for the player to know when he's gonna die or not. Starkiller doesn't actually have a health bar.
Well, on here there's a lot of canon stuff, so.
Yeah, the text descriptions are canon, but I just explained why the numbers are not. The numbers are just stats for the player to understand.
Yeah,
Okay,
so therefore the stats are accurate then.
No, they're
I mean,
not. They're not accurate as far as the actual universe is concerned. What, in fact, what the fuck does it even mean to be 22? What does that mean? How fast is that? You can't even prove what that even means.
I mean, it doesn't even matter if
Just
It
to
does
clarify, just to clarify for you, Crisis, because I don't think they are going to. The speed is 6 squares, not the 22 number.
Okay, so yeah, what does 6 squares mean?
that's what I was asking because I don't know what that means.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna dismiss it, and so I'll give you guys a speed feat for Darth Vader. So let me find this calculation.
Because relatively, all of our characters combined are faster than Vader.
Can you prove that? Let me give you my calc first, and then maybe you could provide a feed or a calculation yourself that would put them in relativity. Let me get this calc. Well, have you guys seen my video?
Video on Vader?
Yeah, you guys said you'd watch it lately. It's in the video. Let me find it.
I didn't say I watched it. I said it was too long than that. It was too long.
Someone said they were gonna watch it. Anyway.
I said I was gonna watch it, but I started it, but I haven't finished it.
Okay. Well, here is a speed calc. This is Anakin stopping a Republic cruiser in hyperspace, and the second portion, that part 2 there, is where they give you the final stats to the calc. And the low end for the calc is 3,000 times faster than light, and the high end for the calc is 38,000 times faster than light. And as I said earlier, with those scans, Vader is more powerful than Anakin, so he would be even faster than this. He'd have greater force powers. So do you guys have like a feed or calc or scaling or something that would put your characters in a relative tier to that?
So when you say speed, you're talking about force, because when I'm talking about speed, I'm talking about like running and all that.
No, I'm talking about what can they react to? What's the fastest thing that they could process and do something about? Which would be like combat. That would be like, I swing my arm this fast, and then, it would be your burden to prove that your character could block in the speed given. So do you have any proof to say that your characters are like 3,000 times faster than light?
No, because that's not what as arm can go. I was confused what you were talking about, because this whole time I thought you were talking about running speed.
No. So do you have anything for reaction speed? Any calc or any scaling or any feat?
For speed wise?
Yeah, like dueling speed and things like that.
Well, wait, when you say dueling speed now, you're talking about like martial arts, like how fast?
No, it's just how fast you can move your body, and then how fast can your brain process things coming at you. You know what I'm saying? So so what's the quickest thing that like your character's been able to dodge or block or so on, and can you prove that it's like between 3 to 30,000 times faster than light? That's essentially your burden right now.
Well, let's see.
Because if not, then I have ample evidence. If you can't prove that they're any type of fast, if they have no speed or speed even close to this, then Vader would just swing his saber fast enough that they wouldn't even be able to comprehend what's going on, and they wouldn't be able to fire off lightning, they wouldn't be able to drain, they wouldn't be able to process what's happening. It would just all be going too fast for them.
Well, it would make sense if it was maybe like 1 or 2, but there's 5, and all of them are smart too. So I mean,
yeah, but if there's 5 people, it would just be like, you get a bunch of you get Elon Musk, you get Mark Zuckerberg, you get Jeff Bezos, and then 2 other smart dudes, maybe me, maybe Chad, and we're all in a room, right? But then the Flash pulls up. Doesn't matter how smart we are, how many they are. We're just gonna get our jaws broken off.
Yeah, okay, maybe you guys are, yeah.
What did the person just say?
He's just
no
making a
joke.
joke because I mentioned him being in the room. He said he would not get beaten by the Flash, but he was just making a joke.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I really, to be honest, since we're talking about, I really don't know anything about like really how fast, except for maybe Mother Towson and Satio and Shakti.
How
I
fast
don't.
would those characters be?
Well, if you count, mm, uh, I don't really know. Like,
Why don't
I
you guys? How about you give me like 10 seconds? I gotta go listen in on something really quick. Y'all guys can look for like a speed feed or something. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. You guys have anything yet?
Yes, I found Satiel's.
Okay.
I found hers. Because I'm not because what they told me. I'm just trying to because some stuff on here I don't know if this is actually edited or not.
What are you looking at? What information?
One of them said to look at Wiki, the fandom Wiki thing.
Who's one of who?
I want to get off names. I don't want to say it was the wrong person. I think it was either Key Issues or King Glow.
Oh.
They asked where they could find speed feeds, so I told them.
Okay.
They didn't have anything offhand.
Well.
Okay, so there's hers. Okay, I have 3, I think now.
Before you post them, are any of them thousands of times faster than light? Is there any proof of that?
I
Did you
will
guys go
get to
about
that.
proving that?
Oh wait, with the thousands of light thing, can you send like specifically where it says that? Like,
It's a calc, and I posted the whole. It's in Legends. It's those 2 Google Docs, and they break down the math and how they
if
did
I
it.
sit here and read both of them, then I'm going to be here for a while. So can
That's
you
not
just
true. It takes you
Well-
5 minutes.
what to read all this?
Yeah.
Okay, well, can't you just send the specific part? I don't understand what's so hard about
What do you
that.
want? What specific part do you want?
The part where it states that he is faster than light.
Yeah, here we go. Also, Red is definitely the superior brother. He's way nicer. There you go. There's where it specifically says that C, that lowercase c, that's a scientific notation for the speed of light. And so it's 3227.36 speed of light.
Okay,
And-
so I think I got all of them. I'm gonna send them. Hopefully, I think well, you're probably gonna have to tell me anyways because I'm being a little slow today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a second. So all this math.
Yep.
How do you know for sure it's correct?
Can
Because this is just a lot of gibberish.
Okay, well, do you realize like an argument, just being skeptic isn't like an argument? You have to have proof to contradict it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You would have like proof, like someone would have to be able to like prove that this math is accurate and it's not just by some.
Well, I told you can read it. You can read the whole thing and the whole math and the whole reasoning. And if you could find
Don't
cut me off. If you could find some problem with the math or contradict it, that's your burden. It's not my burden.
Well, I mean, it is your burden because if you can't prove that math is correct, then it's not really a good argument.
I don't have to prove it's correct. I just put you. It is your burden. It's your burden to prove it's incorrect. That's your claim. You're claiming it's incorrect.
Yeah. So then you have to prove that my claim is incorrect.
No, that's not how the burden of proof works.
I mean, if you're presenting something and I say, how can you prove with a reasonable doubt that it is correct? Then you have to show me that you yourself can prove that the math is correct.
That's not true.
It is true.
It's not. What?
Let's not go down this rabbit hole. Just Crisis, the easiest way to do this is to just provide where you got the calculation from, who did the calculation, and why it is generally accepted as.
I believe I got the calculation from Cyber. All you guys can rep. Everyone in here can rep for Cyber. I know Chad gets calcs from Cyber. I'm pretty sure True knows Cyber. gets calcs from him as well.
Which Cyber did my calcs.
Cyber's pretty well known around here. He does some. I think he's in the death battle team of researchers, so he does some calculations for them as well.
Okay, so and how is what you just said his name is? How is he credible for doing this type of math?
Okay, well, you could read the math. Checks out to me. Like, I don't know what you're asking.
It checks out to you, but
Okay, it's you're just applying skepticism. That's not an argument. You have to prove that this calc is wrong. So you can look at the whole thing because that's your claim. You're claiming it's incorrect. So you have to prove that.
And again, I just asked for credibility. What does he have?
I just got it. I just said everyone in here, Chad, True, people that you agreed were judges at the start. Even Arrows here. Someone else who knows Cyber, talks to Cyber, trusts Cyber with calculations. So the people
I can confirm that Cyber is really considered a really credible source when it comes to like calculations.
Yeah, there you go. Another judge that you agreed on at the start of the debate said that Cyber, the person who provided this calc, is credible.
Okay, but that's also just like saying that, oh, well, I know 6 students that said that just a good teacher, and then I go in there and I have a different experience. You don't. When I talk about credibility,
right? But your different experience would be
what
proof.
does he have under his belt to prove that he is in fact very credible to do this math?
Okay,
what does he have?
The key thing, hold on, because you're still just applying skepticism. The key thing that you just said there is, oh, well, if I went to this, if 6 people say he's a good teacher, and then I went there and he failed me somehow, that would be proof, right? But that's not analogous. The analogy you just made is not analogous to this, because I have nothing but credibility on the side of my calculation, on the side of Cyber, and all you have is skepticism. You actually don't have a negative experience, so that analogy you just made is disanalogous.
I mean, how, Bo? But you can't really prove that to a point that is true just because they say so, that he helped with something.
Okay, but your skepticism is not an argument. I already said that.
Just because you say so, it's not an argument.
You're both going back and forth. Move on to the next point. If you guys can't agree on this, you just have to get the judges to decide. You just say the same thing over.
Okay, so I'll respond to Red, his screenshots.
I'm not even sure. They might, if there's a repeated one. I'm sorry for cutting you off. If there's a repeated one,
that's fine. Again, you're the better of the two. You're much more calm, much more nicer. So I appreciate that about you, Red. But
I try.
But yeah, all these say FTL, so that's faster than light. Which massively faster than light is that's the speed at which this calculation proves. So Vader would be massively. In fact, I can get you the exact numbers here by how much faster he would be on Versus Battle Wiki, which is the resource that you just presented. Let me actually take a look.
So, that's what it is.
So FTL at a high end is 10 times faster than light, but I think this is actually, my calc is massively faster than light plus on the website, which is MFTL plus is 1,000 times or over. So there would be, that's 10 times faster than light to over 1,000 times. So Vader, by this evidence that you just provided, would be at a low end, it would be a difference of 10 to 3,000. He'd be that much faster. So yeah, again, he would just be, they wouldn't be able to perceive what he's doing. He'd be so much faster than all of them that they wouldn't be able to even get an attack off. He would just be thousands of times faster.
If they were, so the FTL one is teal, which I'm not surprised for. And so when it says massively hypersonic, does that, I'm not sure how fast that
here's from the website, here's the speed page. And so it goes as you scroll the wheel down, it'll go from slower to faster, and massively faster than light is the highest measure of speed, which is where Vader would fall.
Okay, so you said he's massively FTL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And FTL plus, actually.
Wait, hold on. Oh, Jesus Christmas. See, who was it? Oh my goodness gracious.
What is that?
That's the TV going off with all the alerts.
Oh, that's the hurricane.
No,
Yeah.
a warning. Yeah, I guess it's the remnants from the hurricane. Actually, never mind. You're right.
So okay. Gosh, I forget so fast.
Concession
So
accepted.
you said he's massively FTL plus. That's what you said Vader was, or did you say he was FTL plus?
He'd be MFTO plus. So that's
Okay.
the fastest section there at the bottom of the chart.
Okay, so Satele is FTL plus. That's one, and everyone else is massively hypersonic plus. And unless you count the one move Darth Townsend can do, which is like disappear and come back, like go to, I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, I mean the thing about that though is like she'd have to know like how fast can she disappear, because it would obviously it's tied to like her own brain and like what she can think to do, which if Vader is massively faster than light compared to all these faster than light people, then her brain wouldn't even be like, he would just decapitate her before she would even know to try to go invisible or whatever.
So honestly, with the ratings, there's 4 people that are massively hypersonic, and Satele is FTL plus. So if you put all of those together, and I don't know how this math works. Assumingly, I'm making an assumption, so this is probably gonna make an ass out of me.
That's cool.
Assuming I pick 4 massively hypersonics and the FTL plus, either it should be equal to massively FTL or maybe just a teeny bit above it. Because I don't think it would be below it.
Yeah, unfortunately, with that logic, the problem is, for one, massively hypersonic, the highest that goes is 1,000 times faster than sound. Obviously, light is like thousands of times faster than sound, and Vader is thousands of times faster than light. So those characters would be rendered pretty irrelevant. And so they would pretty much they'd kind of be hopeless. They wouldn't, because, it's like saying, oh, I have, if I had 5 Usain Bolts on a team, they're all still going to get hit by a bullet. Like they can all, their speed, just because they're around other fast people doesn't mean they all get, faster equally. You see what I'm saying? So they're all still much slower than Vader.
But we can also take into effect that what Red said is that they're gonna get an amp too. From both of them. Both.
But they'd have to know to activate the amp. Like I said, their brain wouldn't be able to process how fast Vader is.
Well, you're thinking of it as they're all gonna be right in front of him, and then they're all gonna die. I just don't see it as, let's all walk up to Vader and just die. That's not how it's going.
Vader would walk up on them and kill them because he's so much faster. And obviously it's a fight, so they're both trying to win. And so Vader would just be, he would be out the gate trying to win, and he is just so much faster, they wouldn't be able to understand it. And they would die.
But if he's focusing on one person, the other 4, he's not going to reach all of them before they can react. So again,
why not?
Because he cannot waste his attention on one person without the other people noticing, oh, okay, it's go time.
But he's so much faster than him swinging his saber and lunging at thousands of times faster than the speed of light, that there's the one hypersonic guy gets his head cut off, the other hypersonic guy is still not going to be able to understand. He can't, it's just too fast, so he'll also get killed. And then the other massively hypersonic person, same thing happens to him. Vader just comes swinging fast, thousands of times faster than these guys can perceive, and they get bullied. That's what would happen.
While you're talking about that, what was that wiki fandom? I'm looking up something else. Wiki fandom. There's that. I need to just look up one more thing. Luke.
Is this gonna be it? Do you have
No,
any more?
I was looking up something real quick. Okay, that's not what I want. Ah, my goodness, why does it have to be this way? What was the site? Okay, there we go. It's right there. This should be right. This should be right. Okay, and his is. So if so, can I say so since like Vader is like faster and you said that he would like easily beat them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say for example when Vader fights Luke, he's way faster than Luke is, but Luke still beat him.
No,
Correct?
no, that's not correct. Are you referring to Return of the Jedi?
Yes.
Yeah. So Vader was conflicted because that's his son, and he isn't going to go all out against his son. And also Luke rage amped Luke, so a stronger Luke than normal. He is as fast as a weaker Vader. So no, both of those claims you made in that statement are not true.
5 fast people, their speeds don't like it. It's not going to make a difference. Like just because they're all like near each other, they're not all exponentially faster by being near each other.
I mean, having 5 weapons strike at you one place, you can get a long circle.
They're never going to. The fight is going to start, and Vader will be thousands and tens of thousands of times faster than them, and they won't understand what's happening. They're all just going to get blitzed and killed.
No, that's not gonna happen at all.
Okay, can you prove that?
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Do you have any other arguments, or is that it?
I just said that literally the 3 in the back lines, Satio and Mother Towson and Darth Trailer in the back while Shock and Leminar are holding him off will be enough to just subdue him. They literally could just all use like the force powers.
They don't hold them off because they all get blitzed and decapitated.
Let's not go back to this. Let's not go back to the speed.
But that's it.
I know. I understand, but red and blue, you can explain your win condition because the speed point was contended on either side, and it's just going to go back and forth in circles, and no one's going to concede the point. So explain your win condition. Crisis has already explained his win condition, and then we can go to conclusions, and then the judges can determine who they thought won.
Okay. This is how I know it will play out. It will literally, so he'll walk up to all 5 of them. They will surround him. And based on what you're saying, he's going to be like this. So let's see 5 people standing around me. I look at all 5. I stick my lightsaber, person in the middle. I'm like, oh, bye, and bye. And 5 seconds, 1 second each. That's what you say is going to happen. And any person, logically, with 5 prominent duelists, so anyone I've even talked to, just were flabbergasted by a point. Because literally, it just makes no sense. All 5 of them could strike at him at once, but you're saying they're like, basically, they're too slow, like sloths. So they'll just sit there, have their lightsaber, and maybe 5 minutes later, they'll finally maybe touch this thing. That's basically what I am getting from you. But that means, like, for example, Darth Sidious, I mean, he was fast. I mean, yes, he used a Darth Scream on the other 2, but, I mean, Darth Sidious could have been fast in Mace Windu, but he still beat him. Anyways, not that point. My point is, you have the force powers I conceded with to amp the team, and more than 5 weapons at a time. I mean, it just makes no sense. That would never happen. This is called the quote-unquote overrated Vader. He would maybe, at best, kill Shock T and Leminar and weaken maybe Darth Traya. But Mother Towson and Satya will be enough afterwards. He would be too tired and he would lose. That's literally how it is. Any person that logically knows this, which from this server, because I've used
other outside source servers, like from other Star Wars servers, just to make sure. And besides you and your other little friends, I literally have everyone agreeing with me on it. It's like
All right,
overrated.
cool. Okay, great. You've provided a win condition. Crisis has provided a win condition. We've gone over relevant stats. Let's do conclusions. In conclusions, you're going to let Crisis summarize his argument and why he believed that he won. You're not going to interrupt him at any point during the conclusion. Crisis is not going to bring up any new arguments. He's only going to be summarizing the debate and why he thought he won. After he's finished, either red or blue, pick one of you to do the same. Summarize why you believe you won, what points you think you won, and do not bring up any new arguments in your summary, in your conclusion. Okay? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
And then the three judges who you've agreed upon will give their reasoning for why they thought whoever won. I'll go first, and then the big J will go, and then Drew will be the last judge to render their verdict. So, Crisis, go ahead with your conclusion.
Okay. So in conclusion, I think I pretty much countered every point that was brought against me. I think I proved why Mortis Anakin being, it wouldn't fall into any scaling chain, and it was kind of just that whole thing was a non sequitur in regards to either of our characters and where they scale. My opponents weren't able to provide any valid counter to the claims and to the statements that say Vader was stronger than Anakin. I think even during the debate, they said that Anakin would win the fight. And so against these five people, they said something like, Vader would lose, but Anakin, it would go differently or something like that. And I think I was able to prove that Vader is more powerful than Anakin based on my statements. I'm pretty sure I think I countered whatever they were saying about, Obi-Wan said he got weaker, but that has nothing to do with Vader. I think I countered that. And I think in regards to speed, I think I sufficiently proved that they didn't really have any evidence to say that he would be able to do anything. The point with the calc, again, just having skepticism isn't an argument. You have to have some sort of counter proof or counter evidence. That they didn't even bother reading my calc. Or reading the calc that was presented. They just said, "Oh, I'm not so sure about it. How do you know? All that kind of fallacious arguments." And yeah, I think my win condition would pretty much go through that Vader would just be so much faster than these people that they wouldn't be able to get off a single attack, and he would just decapitate all of them before they would even understand what had happened. So that's my conclusion.
All right. Whoever you two want to elect to conclude can go ahead.
Okay. So in essence, I believe that we won because actually before I actually conclude, why were we taking to a conclusion?
Why? Because because you guys are going back and forth on the same points over and over again, ad nauseum, and it's never going to end. So you've provided a win condition. Crisis has provided a win condition. Crisis has provided relevant scaling. You've provided relevant scaling. There's really no point in continuing, as you two are just going to go back and forth forever and never agree.
Okay. Thank you for that. But anyways, in conclusion, even then when he was able to give valid points backing up when we were throwing arguments at him, which is true, he has not proved beyond a reasonable doubt that he has been able to fight multiple opponents of their caliber during his time in Legends. Therefore, at that point, he is just using speed and his own logic and his head to vision some whimsical idea that it's going to be a clear-cut win with just one statement by a person that calculated his speed. But that doesn't really prove anything unless he can prove that there's a feat that he does that is better than fighting off or fighting people like that on the same caliber. Then he cannot dream to win. There's nothing he can do. And even in the different character canonically is stronger, he wasn't even able to fight people who are lesser than these 5 combined. Therefore, there's no way he can dream of winning, even if the calculation is true. He has shown multiple times that he can't even dream to focus on one person and be able to fend off all of them. I mean, in canon, he's shown to be a tortoise. What is he going to do? Even if that speed is right, there's nothing to prove that he's actually been able to reach speed of light beyond that in fights against people. So that's my conclusion.
Okay. So I'll render the verdict first, then the big J, and then true, and whoever gets 2 votes out of the 3 will win the debate, based on the agreement made prior to the debate. So to go over the points, as I remember them, we had first gone over a discussion of power and whether or not Darth Vader had become stronger, which I believe Crisis was able to prove, and the 2 of you were not able to disprove. Mostly arguing from incredulity on that point and pretty much every other point throughout the entire debate. You were unable to debunk the speed scaling using arguments from skepticism and not even reading through the calculation or providing any sort of evidence to show that the calculation is incorrect. Your counter evidence to assert that your characters were as fast as Vader and would not get speed blitz were brought from the same wiki with the same reliable calc group, and those calculations were below the calculations that Crisis had provided by a significant margin. Crisis debunked the notion that your characters would somehow be able to combine their speeds, as that is not something that has been shown within the verse to be possible. At least not these characters doing so together. And regardless, Crisis had already stated that they wouldn't be able to combine their speeds in time, even if that was a possibility. So with that being said, blue and red failed to properly debunk any single argument that Crisis had brought forward, and Crisis won this debate with little to no difficulty. So that's my verdict.
Okay, yes, my turn. Well, Garrett kind of said most of, what I was going to say, so I kind of agree with him. But the one thing I will add to is that, I do think on the speed point, especially that I think what really kind of did them in was the fact that, like, they kept trying to say that, the calculation is valid, but, like, didn't even really look at it nor really give any real explanations as to how it could be invalid. Just really saying that they just couldn't believe it, which is just an argument from incredulity. And then even so, like with their point about, maybe if all the characters combine their speeds together, they could somehow reach, which is just, even because as someone who actually did do the math, like it's still not even close. So that point kind of just falls apart on its own there. But other than that, Gator kind of just said everything I would say. So yeah, I agree. Crisis one.
It's true even awake.
I was playing some Dark Souls, so now you guys might be shocked by my decision. Actually, I think it's really shocking. Red and Blue did incredibly awful in this debate. It was truly an atrocious performance. So I don't think they necessarily understand what's going on either, because they for some reason think that even if they for some reason think that 30,000 times the speed of light, combining a few massively hypersonic characters is going to reach that level of speed. I feel like they simply misunderstood the situation. So Crisis as a character was, again, he was able to show with the evidence that by using the same wiki, they have to have agreed that this is some reliable source, right? His character would be able to kill their characters numerous times before any one of the characters was able to even register what was happening based on the scaling given. Their only argument was, this is unbelievable. But do you know what else is unbelievable? That some fucking dude can pull things with his mind. Like, I don't like... Unbelievable doesn't matter. So, that's my decision. There you go.
I would like to say, red or blue, if you've ever seen X-Men Days of Future Past, you can easily imagine how this could be possible. If you've seen the scene where Quicksilver runs around the room and nobody is able to perceive him even moving, that is the speed difference we're talking about. And as Drew said, the evidence that you provided from the same wiki, which would automatically concede that it is a reliable source, disproves that your characters would ever be able to react to Darth Vader.
One more to add to that, the guy who actually made the Calc Cyber, he's actually a part of the Calc group on the wiki who helped make the speed meta. So yeah, so like when he made the Calc, it had to get accepted by multiple other Calc group members who were all considered very reliable sources. So it's not like just we had multiple people went over the God and said it was okay. Just want to add that.
It is a peer-reviewed calculation. It wasn't pulled out of anyone's ass, but
I have seen that movie, and I would just like to little nitgrit your thing about the X-Men thing. Actually, Apocalypse himself was able to see his speed.
I said Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse isn't in that movie, but
Damn. Losing the debate after the debate? That's unfortunate.